Yeah, TRIGGZ. Alright, you gotta mute me. I gotta mute you. You good? Yeah. Oh, for those of you who don't know, this is my beautiful wife.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, the TRIGGZ.
Thank you for the happy.
Joe, if that was you, Joey, was that you, Joey? Yeah, just I'll write your name down now, Joey, and then I'll check out if you can DM me, and then we'll go from there, brother. I'll write your name down so I can check out your message. That's all. Messi, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Everyone that's coming today, I'm really sorry for coming in late. I've been working all day. I was actually not going to go live tonight, but I had already put down the countdown on Instagram, so everyone was jumping on there asking me, bro, are you going to go live or not? You put it up, you know. So I thought I didn't want to let anyone down, and I quickly got everything ready, got everything set, but I was starving. I haven't freaking eaten since this morning. That's the reason why oh shucks, I grabbed the freaking bottle again. My bad. I freaking grabbed the bloody bottle again. All right. Before we move forward, let's go with the heart me's. If you guys haven't heart me or heart my wife, please send it through, because obviously it helps the algorithms. And that's what we want. We don't want just Australia and New Zealand to hear what I've got to say. We want it to hit the other side of the world. Love, and respect you guys. Also, I need you guys to tap it up while we're going through this. These likes mean is something that's really important when it comes to the algorithm catching on. So I don't want anyone to gift, but if you do, I'm greatly appreciative, and anyone that is tapping it up and sending through their heart, me sending you guys our love and respect, both my wife and I. Also, if you guys know how to do it, please share the live, let it get out there so everybody can know that I'm on right now. Caleb, appreciate you, my brother. And before I move forward with tonight's live, I just want to send a message out to everyone and anyone that I've given my direct phone number to, my mobile number. Not a lot of people have got it, but I have a lot of people that's been reaching out, asking for help, and I've explained to them thoroughly that I have a way that I've structured in order to do what needs to be done, but I need to do it my way. So if I'm not answering your phone calls or your messages, it's honestly because I have something that I need to do before I speak to you. Like, there's no use of just talk. I'm all about action. So if I've spoken to you about helping you and you have my direct number, just understand I will get to you. You have my freaking direct number. You don't have to message me where I've got over 5,000 unread messages. You know, I'm trying to keep up the messages I can't. But you have my direct number. Just know the reason why you have my direct number is because I am more than willing to help, because your matter is something that that is of urgency. You know, so just be patient. If I'm not replying or answering your phone calls, I've already sent a message to my people that I told you that could help, and now I'm not gonna bother them. I'm not gonna freaking go out of my way to disturb the people that I have as network. I've already put the word out there, and I gave you my word when I spoke to you. So please just be patient. All right. For the people that have got my direct number, please be patient. There's a thing that I was having a laugh about yesterday with my wife. So when we went live yesterday, it was crack up because I brought up a few things 2 lives ago, and then obviously a little bit of it came up last night, and it was about my wife getting handcuffed and arrested, you know, obviously because I was very upset about it. And then I didn't realize that someone had said this during my live last night until my wife said it. Abby, appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone that's sending through the heart me's and tapping up the likes. Appreciate you guys. Harry. Now, my wife showed it to me today, and it made me laugh today because I was like, you know what? I love the banter that we have on our chat, you know, as Team TRIGGZ, even to people that come through that's not a part of our team. Like I just love the banter that goes on in our chat. You know, it's like last night when everyone was complaining, and last week about my wife being handcuffed while she was pregnant. You know, someone came through and goes, damn these bloody police, who the hell do they think they are, handcuffing your wife? Don't they know that only TRIGGZ is allowed to handcuff his wife? I know. It made me freaking crack up when my wife showed me this morning what the comment that came through, and I was like, oh hell no. Only TRIGGZ can handcuff his wife. Hey, then my poor wife, because I'm a freaking idiot, I'm chasing her around trying to tie her up with my freaking hand tail this morning. You know, so I have to say to that guy that sent through that comment, bro, you the man, bro, you the man. I had a good laugh this morning about it. Also, another thing that came up out of the blues was the protesters yesterday. Yeah, you know, obviously it wasn't funny what happened yesterday when the police were attacking the protesters. I know obviously what it's about, but I don't get into the politics. I stay well clear of it. I don't talk about it, but I am well aware of it. Now, the funny side of it was when I put up a post yesterday on my Instagram, and on my Instagram I said, should I go down there and go live? Because someone had posted up a video, and they were at the top of a hotel that faced down to where the protest was going, and it was packed. Like there were so many people there at the protest and so many police here. And when I seen this post, I quickly screen recorded it. I put it on my Instagram story, and I was like, should I go down there and go live? And I was actually gonna go. Like if people had messaged me and said go, I was gonna go. But you know what? I honestly send my big love and respects to everyone that follows me and supports me, because 90% of people message me and goes, also, please don't go. You know, they're going to target you if you go down there, you know, don't go down there. And I thought to myself, far out. I really love my followers and supporters, man. Everyone like, you know, is not just listening to my advice, but they're also giving me advice. And 100% it's advice that I need to bloody take on board. You know what I mean? Like I told you guys, like there's a time to be serious, and but I can also have a laugh. But as well, I'm the type of person that takes on board everything that everybody says. You know, I don't care if it's the weakest person in the room, and I don't care if it's someone that that people consider a junkie. Like I learn from everyone. So when people sent through a message and told me not to go, obviously I listened and I didn't go. But the joke that came out of the situation that happened yesterday, this morning when I was watching it with a group of my friends, all the assaults that was handed over by police to the protesters, we were watching it, and I was like, far out, that's freaking, I can't believe that they're doing this. This is Australia, you can't freaking do that, you know? And all the boys were going, see, far out, man, everyone was right, you shouldn't have gone. Lucky you didn't go to that place last night. Because I was telling everyone that was with me yesterday, I was going, hey, let's go down to the city, let's go down to the city, let's go check out the protest, you know, let's go show some love down there, and we'll go live, and let's let people talk live and explain why they're protesting, and let them explain what they're fighting for, you know. And that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get people live and let them talk about why they're down there and why they're so passionate about it, yeah? And then when we were watching it, I was like, bro, that's pretty brutal, you know? Like what they were doing is now something that I can use to highlight to you guys my truth. Now, I've explained to you guys thoroughly what happens inside prison, yeah? Where boys get handcuffed and they get bashed by screws, where boys have been handcuffed on wheelchairs and then bashed by screws, where boys have been stripped naked, handcuffed onto the bars, and then they were being bashed by the squad. Like, when I tell these stories on my lives, I really think a lot of you guys listen to me, and you sort of think like, maybe he's exaggerating a little bit. You know, I don't blame you if you think like that, because it's the truth. A lot of these influencers that I see talking about jail robbers and talking about street gangs and whatnot, mate, they've never been through it, and they exaggerate a lot of what happens. You know why they exaggerate? It's because they are telling you things that they heard, not things that they have experienced. You know, they're telling you things that they've seen, but not things that they have experienced, you know, not things that they have been through. There's a big difference, you know, when it comes to situations like this. And so when I saw this thing happening at the city, I thought to myself, wow, I have to bring this up in my life. You know, you guys saw that guy being manhandled. He was this skinny. His face was getting slammed into the cement. His hand was behind his back, and both cops were punching the hell out of him. One in the face, one in the ribs. Both of them were going at him, yeah? And this is what happens inside prison. So to all you younger generation out there who saw the protesters getting assaulted yesterday, just remember, guys, what happened yesterday is nothing compared to what happens in prison. Nothing compared to what prison officers do to you when you come inside and think that you're a gangster. Yeah, this is my opportunity now to highlight my truth. Yeah, because when I talk, a lot of you think, there's a bit of an exaggeration. Look what happened yesterday at the protest. Mate, it's very, very bad what happened yesterday. How old was that man? Yeah, see the old man that was standing up like this, and they were like full going at him, bro. The blokes are old, man, and you got like friggin' 25 to 30-year-old guys like punching the hell out of these blokes when his hands are up. His hands were bloody up, and these guys were going to town on him. Yeah. Now, I'm not here to talk politics. All right. I stay well away from it, you know, because I'm the type of person that keeps his mouth shut, and I will react with action when I deem it necessary, you know. But the things like this, obviously, there's a lot of things going on in Australia and across the world. But my focus and my priority is my wife, my son that is coming, and my parents. You know, if anyone steps towards my family, then obviously I'm gonna arc up and do what needs to be done. And this is the reason why I stay focused on what's important. All right, so that's the reason why I know I'm not going to talk about the politics side of things. But understand, all of you younger generation out there, what happened yesterday when the protesters got attacked by police is nothing compared to what happens inside prison. If you think you're a gangster and then you come in there and you sit in your cell 24/7 and you can't handle it, and then you think going off is going to help you, yeah, it may help you for a day or two until the squad come running along and they turn you upside down and start hammering you the way they hammered that guy yesterday, but 10 times worse than what happened yesterday. Yeah, and they don't care in prison how old you are. I've seen old men, yeah, on wheelchairs that were bridging up to the squad, and the squad grabbed him by the shirt like this, one arm on the wheelchair, and rolled him out. Yeah, as he was rolling him out, the old man on the wheelchair, he had like a handle, you know, where you put your forearm on when you're on a wheelchair. This old man, he detached it from his wheelchair, and when he took it off like that, he turned around and tried to hit the squad with it, and the squad hit him, and then they beat the hell out of him. You know what I mean? And this was probably a 60-year-old man, all right? And yeah, it was his fault because he was trying to assault the squad. So I'm not blaming the squad for attacking him. But what I'm saying is they don't care. Inside prison, they don't care. So I'm giving you guys fair warning about prison life. You know, whatever you're doing out here, just remember, once you're inside prison, there's no getting away with anything. You know, you're going to find a lot of friends that swindle a lot of moves inside prison. But it's not about the little wins that you make inside prison. The little wins inside prison is when you get mobile phones, when you get UGDRs in there, when you get away with charges. even when you win your charges at court, these are little wins, yeah? What I'm talking about is the losses that you don't think about. You know, when you lose your phone calls, you can't talk to your family. You've lost your freedom, so you can't stay in touch with them. You're gonna start losing loved ones while you're inside prison. And when you start losing loved ones, after the first and second one, it's gonna hit you. And trust me, when it hits you, every night you go to sleep, guess who you're gonna be dreaming about? You're gonna be dreaming about those loved ones that had passed away. And then you're gonna be thinking about why you weren't a better person. You know, you're gonna be thinking about, God, appreciate you, my brother. You're gonna be thinking about all the little moments that you had with them, that you shared with them, where you were like, oh, I'm just gonna go out with my mate. Instead of like, oh, grandma, you want to go for a walk? Or, hey, grandma, would you like a cup of Milo or a cup of coffee? Nah, you didn't say that. You were like, oh, I got to go see my mate. Oh, I got to go to work. I got to go do this. I got to do that. But once you're inside prison and then your grandma passed away or your parents passed away, you're going to be thinking about all this stuff. These are the things that I keep talking about time and time and time again. And I got to, stress that you guys think that, your little wins will get you through the day. Now, your little wins inside prison is what I just talked about, yeah? Now I'm going to talk about your little wins out here. Your little wins out here is the quick 10K that you're going to make for burning that car, or the quick 20K you're going to make for shooting up that house, yeah? These are your little wins out here. But guess what? As soon as you get caught, you're going to be going to prison, and then you're going to be dealing with all the rubbish that's inside prison. And the consequences for being in prison is everything that's going to be happening out here while you're inside prison. All right. So remember that, guys. Don't think about don't think about the future when it comes to you being involved in things like this. Don't think about your little wins, because you're thinking they're big wins. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I don't care if you made $1 million. It's still a little win, because guess what? If you made $1 million tomorrow, illegally, number one, you're going to have to clean it to spend it. Number two, if you get caught with it, you're going to have to prove where you got it from. And if you can't prove where you got it from, you're going to get charged with it. Number three, if one of your family members or your missus gets caught with their money, they're going to get charged with it. Number four, if you don't know, that anything between 250,000 and 300,000 is 3 months in prison. So if you get caught with $1 million, expect to be getting about a year and a half in prison. It's just cash. I know it's just cash, but guess what? I've been there. Yo, Mr. Barista, love and respect, brother. I've been there inside prison where when boys have come in for 250,000, he got 3 months, and another brother who got caught with $1 million illegal money, and he got 15 months. All right. So just remember, guys, they're not big wins. I don't care if you scored $5 million. These are all little wins. Why? Because you're going to have to deal with a lot in order to be able to spend this money or be able to live that luxury life that you're seeking. All right. Now, when it comes to what happened yesterday with the protesters, like I said, I'm not going to get into the politics side of things, but I really hope that everyone came out of it unscathed. And if you're gonna run this protest again, I really suggest that you guys know the law inside out and understand that you can get compensation for things like what happened yesterday. The man that put his hands up and got assaulted, remember, you can get compensation for that. And make sure you understand that when you go to court, or when you go and see your lawyer, you take that footage with you, because I promise you, you will get compensated for that assault. Now, the funny aspect of everything that I just said is the fact that when we were watching this devastating thing this morning, all my guys that was around me, which was my colleagues and also my brother and a few of the boys that were watching it, they said, far out, bro. Lucky you didn't go last night. And I was like, why? Like, Uzo, if you went there to that protest, none of these police would have even paid attention to the protesters. They would have just freaking grabbed you on the ground and you would have been the one copping it. which is the freaking truth. I probably would have went there going live thinking, I'm not doing anything wrong anyway. And then I would have freaking got a hiding yesterday. All of yous would have been seeing TRIGGZ on the news getting a biggest hiding of his life. See me turned upside down getting the maddest hiding. Now, there was a thing that everybody wanted me to bring out, yeah. And I actually, you know what? Before I bring that story up, because I told a story. Was it this morning I told that story? Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I told a story this morning, and everyone wanted me to bring the story back up today. So I'm gonna bring this story back up, yeah. But before I bring this story back up, I'm also gonna highlight. Yo, Els, appreciate you. Someone that came through on my break this morning. I was kicking back, relaxing. I wasn't even on TikTok, but my wife was on TikTok, and then she sent me a screenshot, and the screenshot was of someone in a live, and they said, "Hey TRIGGZ, does your wife know that you go around gifting women?" my wife sent me a screenshot of it, yeah, and I was like, "What the heck?" Okay, who's that? And then she was like, "I gifted a lady," and then this guy messaged this, yeah. I think my wife had messaged a older female, and a younger female in her 20s, and this guy must have been in both lives when my wife did it, but she was on my page, yeah. And then he messaged through and he said that, it goes, "Does your wife know that you go around gifting women?" I was like, first of all, you idiot. All the gifts that come through is always posted on my TikTok story, so everybody can see that it's males, females, old people, young people that get gifted. But we only gift kind people and people who are struggling. That's the only people we gift. Anyone that does all that rubbish banter where they swear at each other and go at each other, we don't gift those types of people. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was just funny as hell how they didn't realize it was my wife that was doing the gifting. Yeah, and they were putting it on me, and I was thinking, "Bro, I'm at work, I'm relaxing at work, and you guys are abusing my page thinking it's me, but it's my wife." Yo, love New Zealand. All right, first things first. Again, love and respect to you guys. Please, I need you guys to tap up those likes so it can hit the algorithm, reach it around the world. Also, if you haven't sent me your heart me, please send me your heart me. Send my wife your heart me if you're over there. Send my wife your heart me. Send me your heart me. And I appreciate everyone that's been sending through gifts and pumping up the likes. Love and respect. There was a story that I told this morning that everybody wanted me to bring up. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I actually got hammered. Yo, Leps 212, love VAIUSU. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I probably got smashed with like 18 messages this afternoon, and they were like, "Oh, bro, when you go live, can you bring that up again? That story of what happened after the live last night." I wasn't gonna do it, but then I thought to myself, you know what? There's no harm in it. No one was hurt over it, So, well, yeah, stuff it. I'll bring it up. Anyway, what happened was after mine and my wife's live last night, she received a message, and the message went along the lines of you don't deserve or you deserve more, right? Yeah, they said that this person messaged my wife and said that you deserve better, and I still love you. All right. Now I don't have an issue like that, and I was explaining to my followers this morning and my supporters this morning. I was saying to them, look, I'm not the jealous type. If you're gonna live your life being jealous and envious over someone that you love, then you're just gonna ruin your relationship, and you're gonna end up going off the rails. You know what I mean? So when my wife showed me this message, I said to her, babe, just answer sincerely. Don't block him. Don't reply with anger. Just send him a sincere message. So my wife is on her phone going live, so I can't grab the message out and read exactly what she wrote, but it went along the lines of when she showed me her message after she sent it to him, she said something along the lines of, how can you say that I deserve better when my husband treats me like a queen, and he also took care of me while he was in prison? And then she said, if you really did love me or do love me, then you would be happy for me. And then she wrote to him, may God bless you and your family always, and take care of yourself. And when I read this message, I was like, wow. I go, even I was struck by that message. I didn't know she was going to write a message like that to this guy, yeah. And the guy simply replied with respect. I think he realized that that my wife is a little skank, and my wife wasn't gonna fall for his rubbish, you know. And I have no disrespect towards my wife whatsoever when it came to this situation, because it's not the first time. This has happened to my wife a lot, you know, and she always tells me when it happens, and I tell her the same thing. Just be sincere, you know. There's no need to get angry about it, because we are always going to have things like this happening in our lives where people will turn up and try to pick you up. Obviously, it's a disrespect if they know that I'm married to her, or if they know that she's married, then yeah, they are actually disrespecting the partner if they're going to go and try to pick up their missus knowing full well that they're married. I still don't have an issue with it. Okay, do what you do. As I trust my wife, and this is what I was explaining this morning to everyone else. You know, if you are in love and you trust your partner wholeheartedly, yeah, then you have nothing to worry about. You know, a lot of people out there get so envious and get so stressed that they will go out and do something stupid like attack the person that's making the trouble. All right. There's been a lot of deaths in the younger generation in the last 5 years. And when I found out inside prison after meeting these young guys that the death was over boyfriend and girlfriend rubbish, I was like, what, are you freaking serious? So like, these guys actually went to war over a girl, yeah, and then one ended up in a grave. And I was just so shocked that it could get to that. Like, honestly, there is so much fish around the world. You know, I don't understand if you're gonna fight over a girl and you're gonna go to the lengths of unaliving this person, then you do have issues. You know what I mean? And I have to explain to the younger generation thoroughly, and also to the adults, because the adults are the ones that do this a lot, yeah? If your partner responds or replies in a way that doesn't do your relationship justice, then get rid of them. Trust me, they're not worth your time. I don't care to all the women out there, if this is what your husband is doing. If a girl is dancing up on your husband and then your husband starts grinding up on her, kick him to the curb. To all the men out there, same thing with the girls. If a hot guy walks over and talks to your missus, and your missus turns around and starts chatting with him and starts touching him up, touching his arm, kick her to the curb. Don't get stressed over these types of things. There is much, much more important things in life than getting stressed over someone that's doing you wrong. Trust me, there is plenty of people around the world, and plenty of women and men out there that will treat you like the king and the queen that you are. You know, everyone deserves someone good in their life. And I'm just bringing this up because I met so many younger generation inside prison that were in there over domestic violence, and it all came down to dramas against guys who were fighting for a girl, fighting over a girl. You know what I mean? So I thought this would be a good way of bringing it up, because that guy that messaged my wife today, obviously he was disrespecting me because he knew full well my wife was married. And in his message, he mentioned to her that they grew up together as kids. My wife obviously didn't know who he was, but he was saying to her that he's loved her since they were kids. User, appreciate you. So yeah, that's just a story that I thought I'd bring up and highlight all the things that's happened in the last 5 years. So to all you younger generation out there and to all the adults out there, please understand, if you're not getting treated right by your partner, kick him to the curb and find someone better. Find someone that will cherish you for the person that you are. All right. There's a story that I needed to tell, and I wasn't gonna say his name, but I don't really give a fuck. You know, this guy did wrong by me, so I'm gonna say his name. I don't care. This guy, I met him, back in 2002. 2002? No, 2002 at Oberon Prison. So Oberon Prison was a young offenders prison here in Sydney, New South Wales. When I met him, he was very religious and he had a voice of an angel. This guy, when he would sing, the whole prison would stop and they would turn. Now, I remember seeing him at Silverwater. I first saw him at Silverwater, but I wasn't friends with him and I didn't know him. And at the time, there was war between the Aboriginals and the Islanders. The Aboriginals and the Asians. And there was war between the Lebanese boys and the Islanders. And every nationality, all four nationalities were in the wing in Pod 10 when I was there at Silverwater back in 2001. Was it 2001? Yes, in 2001. No, sorry, in 2002. So it was after the brawl that Underworld Bill was involved in with all the Islander boys. And then this came about. It was 2002. All right. And when I looked around the wing, I remember there was the Islanders there on one side, the Lebanese boys on another side, the Asians on one side, the Korean boys on the other side. And I'm not used to that because I just came from juvie, so I was still a bit shocked at these nationalities. They wouldn't even walk around unless they were in a group. No one would walk by themselves. Everyone had their back on the wall and everyone was ready for war. I was a nobody. I was an 18-year-old kid that just came in. I just finished seeing a brawl over in Pod 9 that Underworld Bill was involved in. This is the story that he always tells when he was getting stabbed in the face. So I got moved over to Pod 10 before I went to Parklea Prison. Now, when I was over there in Pod 10 and all this tension was going about, there was this guy and his name was Nathaniel George. He was a South African or South American. South American, eh? Yeah, South American. Anyway, he was in the middle of the pod and one of the Islander boys was playing a guitar. And I remember just looking around and I could hear this guitar playing from an Islander and I could see all the tension around in the prison, And and when I saw the tension, I thought, man, this is gonna break out soon. And then all of a sudden, this guy started singing, this Nathaniel George, And when he sang, I promise you guys, I'm not even exaggerating, the whole friggin' pod just stood still. And then everyone just turned. And everyone just listened to him. Like, this guy had a voice of an angel. He told me once upon a time that he used to sing or perform with a group called Illa Familia here in Sydney, Now, when I saw him sing, and he stopped the tension in the wing, it made me think, wow, that's the power of music right there, everyone's always talking about the power of music, and I saw it with my own eyes that day, Even the screws came out of their office and stood there and watched this guy sing, It was off its head. I'd never heard a voice like it before. Cut a long story short, I ended up going to Parklea Prison, then I went to Windsor Prison, and then I ended up at Oberon, which was young offenders. Now, when I was at Oberon Prison, I ended up meeting this guy, Nathaniel George, and I ended up becoming very close friends with him. The reason why I became very close friends with him was because, number one, he told me what he was in for, and he was in for a shooting. That's what he told me, and he had strayed away from the friends that he had, and he had chosen to give his life to God. So this is what made me hang around this guy, was because I was like, wow, this guy is different from all the inmates that I've met. This guy is all about change. This guy just talks about God. He talks about Jesus, you know, like, he loves to sing. But I'm used to walking around with boys who are talking about gang related stuff. They're talking about the next move they're going to make when they get out. They're talking about, the next drop that's going to come into prison, you know, of Ugdres to make money. They're talking about all these gang related rubbish. So on a daily basis, my ears were getting popped from everyone in the prison talking about crime, talking about gangs, talking about everything except being good and staying out of trouble when you get out of prison. Yeah. So it was something where I felt at ease when I was around this guy, Nathaniel George. I felt at ease because I was like, far out, finally someone that doesn't talk about gang and crime rubbish, you know. So I liked hanging out with him. Anyway, he was very close to all the Asian boys, and then he went his way, I went my way. And I ended up building a reputation for myself inside prison from the age of 18 onwards, because I was involved not only in the racial wars, but I was also involved in the gang wars that happened inside prison. And when I made a reputation for myself, I got released out of prison, and I ended up getting out with a lot of network. And when I say network, I'm talking about underworld figures that know how to make money, that know how to swindle, proper moves, you know, not the stupid things I was doing growing up as a kid. So this is what happens to all you parents out there, this is what happens when your kids go to prison. They don't just go to prison and come back out to you, a newborn kid. They don't just go inside prison and come back out, someone worse. They actually go to prison and they start meeting people who are good at crime. And then they'll start getting taught how to do better crime. And if they don't get taught how to do better crime, they start building connects. And the connects will reach out to them when they get out and offer them things that they can do for bigger money. So it's pretty much, prison is pretty much like how do I put it? A college, you know what I mean? To be a better criminal. And this is why I stressed in my first couple of lives that young kids should not be taken to Supermax, because when I was over there in Supermax, there was a lot of kids that were 18 that were there. A lot of the boys that were charged with terrorism that were there, young 18-year-olds, and all of them shouldn't have been there, because what happened? All the older boys just kept talking them into keep doing what they were doing, so that when they got out, they would be able to be hooked up with what the older boys had, and then obviously they'll go do something stupid, you know. And I was like, bro, like I told you guys, the young guy that was in there that I always used to talk about, he was only supposed to do 18 months, and guess what? He got 44 years, and he's currently got about 38 years to go. How do you go from having 18 months left till you get out of prison to now having 38 years to go until you get in prison? Guess what? The older boys. Yeah, the older boys got into his ear. He started doing dumb thing after dumb thing after dumb thing. And then he ended up getting more time while sitting in prison. And now he's got 38 years to go. But altogether, he had 44 years. Now, the thing that got me with Nathaniel obviously was the message he used to give to me about God and Jesus, but also his singing voice. Yeah. Now, when we parted ways, I built my reputation, and then I ended up getting out and going back in for 10 years. Yeah. And when I finished my 10 years, remember guys, I hadn't seen Nathaniel since we met at Oberon 2002. And then in 2017, when I was released from prison, all of a sudden, out of the blues, he reached out to me, yeah? And I was actually ignoring everyone. I was actually ignoring everyone in my past life, because I was like, bro, when I was doing my freaking time, my 10 years, only my parents were the ones that came and visit me, and only my closest brothers were the ones that went above and beyond for me, you know, and obviously my missus, who is now my wife. So I didn't want nothing to do with anyone in my past. But when Nathaniel reached out to me, I got told by a close friend of mine that all of you guys know, DJ TRIGGZ, that he had heard Nathaniel wasn't doing too well, and he was heavily influenced with drugs, and he had lost a lot of friends and a lot of family members. And I'm not going to get too much into his personal life, but I'm just going to use the story that you need to know. Yeah. Anyway, have you guys ever heard the saying, you should just leave dirt where it lies? All right. This is where this saying comes in, yeah? When he reached out to me, I could have said no. I was doing well. I completed my 10 years. I got out. I got my L's license. I got my P's license. I got myself a car. I got myself a job, and I got myself a connect who was legitimate, and he was teaching me stuff and flying me around the world. So I was doing very, very well for myself 7 months after my release. Yeah. And obviously I told you guys within 9 months, I had already traveled to 16 countries. So obviously I was doing very well for myself when he reached out. Now, I could have just left him lying, as I told you guys. But I still had that love for him because when we were together, he always spoke about church, and he's got a very soft voice and he's humble, yeah? So I thought to myself, oh, you know what? I don't really want to talk to people in my past, but stuff it. I'm going to go and friggin' and see if he's all right, because DJ TRIGGZ told me he wasn't doing too well. So anyway, I messaged him. I said, hey, bro, you all right? Let's catch up. I know you need help. And he said, Far, thank you very much. So I appreciate you. I love you. And then we caught up. Listen to this, all right? Remember, I just finished my 10 years. I went and picked him up. And then I told him he can be my driver and I'll pay him a weekly wage. All right. All he had to do was drive. And because I was always working, I was always on my laptop, I was always on my mobile phone. And I wanted to cut away from driving while using my mobile phone. Like, I had to focus on making sure that that my safety was priority, because I had to take care of my parents, and my siblings. So I got myself a driver, which was Nathaniel. We were driving around. His first mistake was when I was talking to my brother 212 Heat about business, yeah? And then he jumped in and he started explaining what he thought was best. And I turned around to him and I said, Nat, bro, shut the fuck up. And he was like, huh? Okay, bro, you're here to drive. Why are you trying to get involved in mine and my brother's conversation, bro? I said, there's a reason why you're down here and I'm up here. I was locked up for 10 years. I got out and you still haven't done anything with your life. And you got the nerve to try to jump into a conversation and tell us how to run our show. I said, bro, please just keep driving and don't get involved in our conversation, And then he just put his head down and he kept driving. That was his first mistake. And I should have taken that as a warning sign, because I could see that he was a bit heated up from me lecturing him, and I should have just kicked him to the curb. So I'm going to explain to you guys something, yeah? The drama that I had with that gang OC? All right. When all the Islander boys in the yard started a gang called OC, that Frenny and 5 of his mates, yeah? They started a gang. And then once their gang started growing, they jumped one of the 5 founding members of OC, which was Luke Akawala, a Tongan guy, yeah? And he's a good fighter. All right. When they jumped him, obviously I seen in Frenny's eyes and in Conway's eyes and that this was a setup. They didn't jump him, but 3 Māori boys jumped him, yeah? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I remember that day when I was giving the whole yard a lecture, yeah? I turned to that Frenny and I said to him, all right? And he pouted his lips like that. And he goes, yeah. And I remember looking at him when he said it, and I thought to myself, man, is this guy giving me cheek? But because I'm a gentleman and because I was looking after all the boys, I kind of let it brush off my shoulder. I'm telling you something. If he had done that to my brother 212 Heat, my brother 212 Heat would have knocked him out, yeah? But I'm very, very kind-hearted, and this is my problem. People always take my kindness for weakness, and then as soon as they feel two on their chin, then they realize, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't F with TRIGGZ. You know what I mean? So this is the reason why I'm explaining this to you guys. So that situation there, when I noticed Franny do that, this is what happened with Nathaniel. When we were in the car and I gave him a lecture, he did the same thing that Franny did. Like, he was pouting his lips and he was doing that little noise. I was like, because he was dirty. Yeah, I could tell he was dirty. Right there and then, I should have kicked him out of the car and just got rid of him. Yeah, I should have got rid of him out of my life, and I should have just kept living my best life. Yeah, but for some dumb reason, I let it slide. And this is what my brother 212 Heat always says to me: Uso, what's wrong with you? He goes, bro, your kindness is gonna get you killed one day. And I keep saying to my brother 212 Heat when we were growing up, what are you talking about? Bro, you're younger than me. You don't even know what you're talking about. He goes, Uso, I'm younger than you. That's the reason why I listen to you. That's the reason why I give you the love and respect, is because I'm the youngest. But just let me have my say. Also, you're so kind-hearted that you let people get away with things. He goes, bro, one day someone's gonna come and knock you because of your kindness. When my brother said that to me, this is when we were growing up as kids, all the way till we were adults. Yeah, he always used to say to me, because I used to always let people get away with things. And obviously everybody knows it wasn't because I was scared. It was me. I'm just, I like to see the good in people. That's the reason why I let a lot of things slide. Yeah. Anyway, as the relationship started building with Nathaniel, I started introducing him to my people. I introduced him to my parents. I introduced him to my missus. I introduced him to my connects, and that's how he started getting to know all my network, was because he was my driver, you know. And everywhere we went, he got to eat for free. He lived with me for free. Like, everything that Nathaniel got was for free, you know. And he had never had anything like this until I took him under my wing. He got his first Versace shirt from me. You know, I was wearing nice clothes. So I thought, this guy's my little brother now. He's my driver. I'm going to make him look good. So what did? I went and bought a Versace shirt. And I go, here, it's your first Versace shirt, you know. And this is the type of person I am. You know, if you're with me, then I'm going to treat you like a brother. All right. Then came the day when my brother 212 Heat and I got arrested. Yeah. My brother and I got arrested and we got locked up. And I sent a message to Nathaniel while I was inside prison. I go to him, bro, I got you and one of the other boys a house to live in. I got you both a car. I bought them both a car, yeah? So I gave the other one a Range Rover, and I gave him this other car, which was brand new. I don't remember the name of the car, but it was a nice car. And I said to him, you both got cars. You both got a place to live in. And all I ask is for both of you to look after my missus, which is my wife today. Yeah, that's all I asked. So the daily routine for Nathaniel was to drive my wife around, and then he could leave around about 5 o'clock, pretty much like a 9 to 5 job. Drive my wife around. He'll be kicking back with my wife at home. He'll be kicking back with my parents. And then as soon as it hits 4 or 5 o'clock, boom, he would take off and do whatever he wanted. All right. Remember how I told you guys that saying? Maybe sometimes it's good to just leave dirt where it's lying. All right. This is what happened, yeah? I'm inside prison, kicking back, relaxing, and waiting for my trial. And then my wife visits me, and she was like, hey, do you know if Nathaniel knows a girl named Jade? And I was like, what? Yeah. I go, Nathaniel. And she goes, Nathaniel, a girl named Jade. I go, yeah, Jade's his wife, the one that left him, you know? I said, why? And she was like, I don't know what happened, you know, like we were in the car driving, and then he pulled over, and then he turned to me and he was like, Jade, I love you, Jade. And my wife was looking at him going, what? And he's like, Jade. And my wife's like, Nathaniel, it's Liz. Why you keep calling me Jade? And then as soon as my wife screamed at him, he kind of snapped out of it and he was like, oh, sorry, Liz, sorry, Liz. But he was telling my missus he loved her, but he was calling his ex-wife's name, Jade, you know. And that's another person who did a lot for him, you know. I'm not going to get into his personal life, but anyway, when my wife told me this, I was like, what the hell? So I rang the boys and I said to them, go see Nathaniel and see what the hell's wrong with him. Find out if this cunt is back on the drugs. So when I took Nathaniel under my wing, I had one rule with him: no drugs. He had to get off it. So pretty much, he went through the cheetah. Like, he had to do a lot to get off of the drugs, but he did it. You know, congratulations to him. A big congratulations to him from us back then. We had a good party for him, and we brought him into the family, you know. And he was telling me things like, oh, also, I will do this for you. I will do that for you. I don't care. You know what I'm like. You know what I went to jail for. And I was like, Nathaniel, I don't need you doing anything for me. I said, I brought you here because of our relationship back when I was doing time. When I heard you sing like an angel, when I heard you talk about God and Jesus, that's the reason why you're here, bro. You're not here because I need a frontline soldier. Brother, I've got heaps of soldiers. I said, I don't need another soldier. This is when I was full gang related, guys, yeah? And I had to explain thoroughly to Nathaniel that he was only there because of our relationship back in the days, you know? I wasn't the type of person that was recruiting people off the street. You know, I was doing my own thing, and I was actually doing the right thing for the first time in my life, you know? And then Nathaniel used to always like, do his thing. And then as soon as I got locked up, obviously he must have got back on the drugs because, of what he did to my wife. And then after he did what to my wife, I rang him and I said to him, bro, please take care of my missus and stop turning into a spinner every time you're with her. She's getting scared, bro. And he's like, no, so I swear, I just didn't get no sleep. You know, I'm confused. You know me, I miss my wife and my kids. That's the reason why. And I understood because he said he missed his wife and kids. Facts only, love you. Anyway, my wife comes, visits me about a month later, and she's like, babe, please, I don't want Nathaniel as a driver anymore. And I was like, what? I go, what happened? She's like, please, babe, I don't want him as a driver anymore. And she goes, I can drive myself. I can do my own things. You're the one making the boys come and take care of me. I don't need any of the boys. I'm happy to do my own thing, you know, like I'm used to it. And I was like, what happened? I started screaming, what happened? And she was like, babe, Nathaniel kept calling my phone and he kept saying Jade, you know, and I don't know, I had some type of anxiety and feeling inside me that something was about to happen. So my wife walked over to the window of her house and she pulled the curtain. And when she pulled the curtain, Nathaniel was standing outside my house calling my missus, waiting for her to answer. And he kept calling her Jade, You know, and I don't know if this guy was trying to lie and make make this as an excuse for him to get into my house, because my wife locks all the doors and locks the garages, yeah. And I don't know if he was just making an excuse just so he can get into my house, you know, and try to make a move on my missus. But I'm just hoping to God that he was sincerely on drugs, and that's the reason why he was being a F-wit, you know. But my wife got so scared because this bloke was standing outside her house trying to get her to answer the phone, and he was looking directly at my wife's house, you know. And this is the person that I took off the streets and took care of. This is the person that I brought into my house. Now, the reason why I keep telling stories like this is so you younger generation understand, you know, that it's always the people closest to you that's going to turn on you. You know, the people closest to you who's going to bring you down. The people closest to you who's going to tear your relationship apart. All right. After I said to Nathaniel, you're no longer going to be my wife's driver, I ended up saying to him, you are now going to go and just kick back with one of the boys. I didn't go off at him. I didn't tell him what I knew. All I said was, I'll see you when I come home. And then I let him go and start working with one of the other boys that he was living with. Should have just left the dirt where it was like. Not long after I put him together with the other brother, guess what he did? He stole money. He stole things that he that he shouldn't have stole from him, and then something happened about a couple of months later, He had guns and drugs on him while he was driving the stolen car that I had bought my mate. So I had bought a Range Rover for my mate, and he stole the Range Rover off my mate. I don't know why he stole the Range Rover. He had a car that I already bought him, a brand new one. But anyway, he had guns on him, he had drugs on him, he stole the Range Rover, and then he went and the cops pulled him over and he got caught with everything, and then he went to jail for it. Now, remember, this is someone that I was very, very close to, someone that I considered family, and I brought him into my family after he reached out to me that he was in need of help. All right. I ended up losing that Range Rover because the police took it and sold it without my wife's consent, because the Range Rover was under my wife's name, and all the stuff that he stole from me, I never got back. All right. I found out later on from a security guard that worked at my office. Obviously, Nathaniel was my driver, so he can come and go as he please at my office, yeah? And my security guard goes, the day that me and my brother 212 Heat got arrested, yeah? The very day we got arrested, my security guard said that Nathaniel turned up to my office, he opened up my door, and he looked down, and the security guard goes, "You all right?" And he goes, yeah. Peter just told me to come and grab a few things for you. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, all right." Obviously, he trusts him because he's my driver. He went in there, and my security guard said that he stayed in there and he must have slept. And he goes, he got up at nighttime around about 8:30, and when he walked out to go to a taxi, he had 3 bags in his hands, yeah, and it looked like it was filled with stuff. Now, when my wife had flew down to Sydney a week after I got arrested, I told her to go to my office, and I said to her, I got my Versace jacket in there, which was my favorite Versace jacket that I got from Paris. And I said to her, there's a jar filled with $1 and $2 coins. I said, grab that, because those were the coins I used to use for visits when I'd go visit the boys inside prison. And then I told her, and there's more clothes, expensive clothes in a cupboard, including a couple of $1,000 that's put in there. I think it was about $6,000 or $7,000 that I had hidden there, yeah, away from my nephews and nieces when they come over. Anyway, my wife went over there, and guess what? Nothing. Not one thing was it. Everything that I told her to go and get had disappeared. Infinite. And no one had access to my office except Nathaniel and my brother 212 Heat. And my security guard was the one who said that it was Nathaniel that was in there. And till this day, he's never ever spoken to me about anything that has gone missing. I've never confronted him about it. So the first time that he's going to be hearing about it is now, when I'm explaining it to you guys, you know what I mean? And I don't care what he thinks about it. He knows exactly what I've done for him. And all that rubbish talk that he was talking about, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you, yeah? Guess what? You know, when he got locked up, he went to Parkley prison. Now, every single bloodline member that gets locked up in prison, they know as soon as they get in there, they're going to have to go for their walk. And everybody remembers all my stories that I've told in the past. When you go for your walk, that means you're going to have to go and take on your enemies on your own. Now, Nathaniel had got to Parkley, and he was on his own. So his job was to go for his walk, obviously because the boys had brought him into the family. He didn't go for a walk. All he kept doing was making excuses and sending messages to the boys. "Oh, there's no one here. I haven't bumped into no one. Yeah, trust me. I'm going to do what needs to be done, but I haven't bumped into anyone." All the boys found out later on, he was mixing with the enemy. He was cooking with the enemy. And this is why I keep bringing things up like this to all you younger generation, because this is what happens. Those people around you that you deem family or you deem close are the ones that are going to be two-faced to you in the end. You know, they're the ones who's going to be looking at your enemy and shaking their hand and giving them a hug, you know, and you didn't even know about it. You know, there's a story that I'm not going to bring up yet, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of what happened. A girl got shot, right? And her brother has gone way above and beyond for an underworld gang that all of you know about, yeah? Now, when she got shot, it was devastating news to her family. And the only reason why she got shot was because the guy that came in and got her was coming in looking for her brother, all right? but the brother wasn't there. So she got by accident, all right? But remember the crew that he went above and beyond for? They ended up mixing with the guy that did the shooting on his sister. So here's him going above and beyond for his crew. Here's his sister who just got Oche. And then the crew that he went above and beyond for ended up mixing and getting along with the person that did this to his sister. All right. So I'm not going to get into it. All I'm going to say is this is not the first incident. All right. There's many, many more incidents like this that's happened where wars have started inside prison. Yeah. And it all came down to so-called brotherhood, so-called unbreakable brotherhood. Yeah. And guess what? It was always the closest that turned on each other. All right. I'm not trying to bring anyone down. I'm not trying to start any shit. All I'm trying to do is to teach you younger generation that this is what happens when you dare to live a life of crime, when you dare to live a life that concerns gang-related people. All right. Nathaniel was someone that was very, very close to me. I took him off the streets, but I should have just left him there. You know, sometimes it's better just to leave the dirt where it's lying. Right? I gave all my love to this person. My parents gave all their love to this person. They even called him son. He sat with us during dinners, you know, took him under my wing, and I treated him like my younger brother. And this is what he did, you know. Not only did he steal from me, not only did he try to swindle or move on my wife, but also when he went into prison, he didn't even go and fight for the family. You know what I mean? He shit his pants and he made friends with our enemies. All right. Moving along from Nathaniel, I'm gonna go on to someone that was also very close to us. Yeah. He wasn't bloodline, but his cousin was bloodline. Yeah. Now this person is also someone that we considered family, and he was the boys actually wanted him to become bloodline, but his cousin kept saying, nah, he's not worthy. He's not like the boys. He doesn't understand. He still thinks that he knows everything. Yeah. And I remember the boys like speaking to the cousin who was bloodline and saying to him, bro, the bro goes above and beyond. Like, what else more do you want from him? You know? He goes, nah, trust me. He's my family. I know him well. You know, I love him. And yes, he has gone above and beyond, but trust me, he's not bloodline material. Boys, you just have to understand this is my decision, and my decision is not to have him a part of bloodline. You know, he can just work with us, but he can't be with the family. So the boys just accepted it. Yeah. Anyway, this guy also ended up being a driver for the boys, and he was running around doing things with the boys. And to cut a long story short, I'm not going to get into it, but he also stole from me. Yeah. And the funniest thing is he lied about stealing from me. Yeah. And he didn't realize that when I got him my lawyer to represent him and his brother, I had explained to my lawyer to give me all the information and to give me everything that that she had on the boys, so that I could study their case, because my goal was to get the boys out of prison early, you know. So I told her to send everything to me. Now, when she sent everything to me, he had lied to me and said to me that he didn't steal anything. And he said to me, oh, I promise you, it was my brother's wife that took off. They had a divorce, they had a breakup, and she took off to Melbourne and took everything with her. And I sent a message to my wife and I said, babe, what do you mean? It's my money. I want my money. And she was like, I don't know. He's saying that he hasn't got it. He said the wife took it, his brother's wife. I said, all right, it is what it is. All good. Leave it at that. I get the transcripts. I start reading through the transcripts. And what does it say? It's them. The cops was surveillancing them, yeah, and had phone taps on them. And on the phone taps, they were talking about my money. These is people that I took, not his brother, him, yeah. I took him under my wing after his cousin brought him to the family, and I taught him what he needed to know, and I looked after him, yeah? I even got him a house that he could stay at. I got him a car, the Range Rover, and then what does this guy do? He steals from me. All I asked him to do was take care of my wife, and he went and stole from me. He actually thought that he was getting away with stealing from me, yeah? Even when I had money inside the storage, he had to go and do things over there. What he didn't know was I had a hidden camera inside this storage, yeah? And every time he went in there, he would always grab little bundles and put it in his pocket. And my cameras caught everything that he did, right? And when the police had bugged their phones, and I was reading through the transcripts, they were actually speaking about their next moves on how they were going to build their little empire. But they were going to build it with my money that they stole. You know, so this is why I tell you, younger generation out there, you know, this is what happens. You know, if you're living a 9-to-5 life and then someone does something like this to you, it's all right because you're a legit person, and this is what people do. You know, they swindle moves. But when you're living a life of crime and then people turn on you like this, there's no excuse. You know, at the end of the day, it's the biggest two-faced move when you're living a life of crime or living the gang world, yeah? And I warn you guys about people that you consider family, yeah? Don't consider them family until you know them inside out. Trust me, it's always the closest ones to you that's going to ruin your lives. These guys, these two, Nathaniel George and this other one that I'm talking about, I did everything for them, yeah? His missus tried to commit, I'm not going to say the word, but it starts with S. She tried to commit that a few times, yeah? And guess who saved her? My wife. Didn't save her from doing it, but she was there for her emotionally. She was there for her when she was down and out. And when she needed to lift a heavy ass friggin' fridge up her stairs, my friggin' wife is weak. But guess what? Who was there helping her lift it? Not her sisters, not her family, not her brothers. It was my wife. Yeah? And this bloke's got the nerve to steal from me and do me wrong like that after everything that I've done for him. That's what happens. All right? They don't care. You know, they don't care about what you've done with them. You know, they see straight through it. You know what I mean? There's that saying that goes what's that saying? It says when you're around, how's it saying go? Out of sight, out of mind. My wife just said, what goes around comes around. I love you.
I wasn't really paying attention. Sorry.
My little gangster. What goes around comes around.
I wasn't really paying attention. I was reading, like, I just heard you say around.
That makes sense. It makes sense. Oh, bro, you're the best. You're the best. I'm sorry. I was like, she's gonna kill my life after. She's like, oh hell no, you just said that in front of everyone. No, the saying is out of sight, out of mind. You know, so when you're there, you're their boss, you're their brother to the death. But as soon as you're out of sight, you're out of mind. They don't care. They will steal from you straight away. They will go and swindle or move so they can sleep with your sister. You know what I mean? They're the types who will be talking to your missus behind your back. Because this is what they do. It's a dirty world. When it comes to crime and gang-related lives, it is a dirty world. Trust me, this is what they're gonna do. Out of sight, out of mind. How many times have I done things for people and they've done this to me? Not when I'm around. Only when I'm out of sight, they do things like this. This is the reason why I talk about these things, because you guys need to know about it. These are two people that I fully took care of, yeah? But I'm not going to get too much into it. Now, there's another story that I want to talk about. Before I get into this story, please guys, I love and respect each and every one of you. I can see 122,000 likes up there, all from the tapping that you guys have been doing. any gifts that has been sent through. I love and appreciate you guys, and everyone that has sent me through the hearts. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. And also love and respects to everyone over there. I can see 77,000 likes over on my wife's freaking chat. Love and respects to each and every one of you guys as well. All right. This story here is about a girl, yeah, when I was growing up. All right, me and her were having like a little thing when we were together. And when we were having this little thing, I had a friend who I was very, very close to. So I had just finished doing time, 3.5 years in prison. Yeah, I got out, and obviously I was being a young kid, you know, spreading my wings, you know, getting to know all the women around Sydney. Yeah, just having fun, having a laugh. It was way before I met my wife, and I just finished 3.5 years, and then I met a girl that. We were together pretty much every second day, you know. Now, my friend that was with me, he was with me every time I would catch up with her, every time I was talking on the phone with her, he was with me. Now, this was someone that I ended up becoming very, very close to. And the reason why I'm bringing up this story is because the same thing, betrayal, all right? Every story that I've told you guys has been betrayal, a story of betrayal, all right? And this story too, you can consider it betrayal, but I'm not gonna go down that track. You know, it's something that happened, and I don't really care about it. I'm just bringing this up just to highlight facts to all you younger generation out there. Yeah, my mate was with me every single time I was with this girl. Yeah, he was with me every time I was talking to this girl on the phone. All right, and then. When I went into prison, I sent a message to him and I said to him, bro, come and visit me. I need to speak to you about a few things. And then he turned up late. We had about a 10-minute visit because he turned up late. And I gave him a hug. I sent him my love, sent my love to his family. And then we parted ways. And then I got a message from a girl and she was like, hey, you know your mate that just came and visit you? And I was like, yeah. Because, you know, he said that... he's sick and tired of your phone calls. I heard him saying it when he was drunk. I said, what do you mean sick and tired of my phone calls? Because what he was saying to everyone in the party, that you call him like nearly every day from inside prison, and you always tell him to visit. And then I thought back, I was like, I call him like once a week, and yeah, I do say to him, oh, when you get a chance to visit, come see me, because I enjoyed his company, you know, he's my mate. And she was telling me that he was complaining about me at the party, saying that he was sick and tired of my phone calls. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to call him anymore then. You know, I still have love for him. I still have respect for him, and I still have loyalty for him. But at the same time, I'm not going to believe what this girl told me. I'm just going to friggin' cop it on the chin. And I'm just not going to call him anymore. Not because I hate him or anything, but I want him to live his best possible life without thinking, what the hell? Oh, wow. My wife just got a uni. For those of you who don't know what a uni is, that's like $800 Australian. Oh, bro. Yeah, that is it. That's the best. Thank you very much, everyone, for sending love to my wife. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I apologize. I'll get back to the story. So, yes, sorry, bro. What the freak? NZ! Oh, bro! What the freak? Bro, everyone in my chat do MVP NZ. Everyone over there, MVP NZ. Everyone over here, MVP NZ. It is what it is with NZ, not with TRIGGZ. Bro, what the hell? Love and respect, NZ. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Wow. Yes, MVP NZ. And over there, MVP NZ. Whoa, what the hell? Guys, oh, wow. That's a lot of love. For those of you who don't know what a uni is, that's actually a lot of love. Far out. Big love and respects to you, NZ. Man, had to take a moment for that one. But wow. That's friggin' off its head, eh? Thank you so much, NZ. Love and respects to you and your family. All right. Where were we at? All right. My mate, I'm inside prison now, and he's complained about me calling him, so I've cut ties. Not because I hated him or because I was angry at him. I cut ties because I wanted him to live his best life. Now, I'm inside prison. I haven't spoken to him in about 6 months, and I'm just doing my thing. Then out of the blues, one of the girls that I'm very close to came visit me, yeah? And when she came visit me, she was like, hey, you remember that girl that you were always catching up with? And I was like, yeah. Did you know that old mate is seeing her now? And I was like, what? Because yeah, bro, he's seeing her. Bruh, that's when I realized the reason why he didn't want to come see me and confront me face to face, and the reason why he started getting upset when he was drunk every time I called, it wasn't because he was angry at me or because he didn't want to see me. He was embarrassed because he was now going with the girl that I was with when I was outside. This is someone that I was very, very close to. He went and got with this girl, and I was like, bro, I actually didn't care. Like, he's my brother, and if he had come visit me and just told me, well, it would have been good. I was like, bro, it's all good, you know. Like, I wasn't even calling her from inside prison, you know. It's not an issue. And I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? I can't believe it. I thought that me and this guy were close. And this is why I keep explaining to the younger generation, yeah? It's those closest to you that end up ruining the relationship that you guys have, all right? This guy, man, I swear to you, we done everything together. We went everywhere together. It was me and him and his brother and my brother. Us four, we were always together doing everything together, yeah? And then behind my back, he went and got with his girl, which is not an issue. She wasn't my girlfriend or anything. But there was a rule in Bloodline, yeah? And the rule in Bloodline is you're not allowed to go out with one of your boys' ex-girlfriends or ex-wives. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he approves it. If he says, nah, you can go out with my ex, so it's all good. It's not allowed to happen. You'll get your head jumped on, all right? The reason why these rules were put into Bloodline was to save the dramas, all right? Because remember, if you're in my gang, yeah, and I came and ended up having sex or going out with your ex-girlfriend, that's a shit go. To me, that's a shit go. You know why? Because if you're one of my boys, once upon a time, you were in love with that girl. So why would I go out with her if once upon a time you were in love with her? No matter how much loyalty we have amongst each other, at the end of the day, you will always have feelings for that girl. And you're always going to be cut when you see me kissing your ex-missus. This is the reason why there are these rules in Bloodline, yeah? Because it saves these types of issues, you know? A brother, a sister is my brother and my sister. That's how it was in Bloodline, yeah? There was no, no one would ever dare step towards any of the boys' missus or ex-missus. There was a situation that did happen, which I'm not going to get into, but that person ended up being turned upside down and punished pretty brutally when he slept with one of the boys' missus. Like I said, no one's perfect. Everyone's always going to try to shoot their shot. You know what I mean? And the reason why I brought that story up just a minute ago is because there was no issue with my mate getting with that girl because I wasn't talking to her. I didn't call her from prison, but we were together every second day when I was outside. Yet, out of all the girls in friggin' Australia, this guy chose the one girl that I was with, you know? And it's not an issue. I don't care. But if the brother had come and visited me and just told me, I would have been like, bro, it's all good. She's not my missus, you know? You're not Bloodline, so it's all good, you know? Like, by all means, you know, like, have a good life. I would have wished them both the best. Manda, love you, appreciate you. You know, but there you go. moving on to the next story. This is another story of betrayal as well. These are two Tongan brothers. I was close to one of them until he turned snitch, and the other brother is Nach Tomafalau from Melbourne. This Tongan brother is someone that I grew up with as kids. And I was telling a story this morning because people kept asking me, how did you meet Nach? How did you meet Nach? For those of you who don't know Nach is someone who has a massive name in Melbourne. All right. In Melbourne, he was one gangster that was very feared, but he was also very, very loved. Yeah. And I think about 5 days ago, his name came on the newspaper and he got life in prison in Tonga. So he got deported from Australia back to Tonga, and then he made a move to Fiji where he was living well. But the Australian government, again, they called Fiji, told Fiji to kick Nach out of Tonga, and Nach got kicked out of Tonga and got sent back to kick Nach out of Fiji, and then Nach got kicked out of Fiji and he got sent back to Tonga. And this was because of Australia. Australia were the ones to do this. And I remember there was a live that I did before where I explained to you guys how I went to Fiji. I was kicking back, relaxing, did nothing wrong. And then Fiji came and grabbed me and kicked me out of Fiji. And I was saying to them, your country is the most minute country compared to all the countries I've been to around the world. And you got the nerve to kick me out and I've never done anything wrong. Long story short, one of the main guys that was there, he ended up whispering in my ear that it was Australia that rang them and told them to kick me out of Fiji. And I was like, why? I didn't do anything wrong, you know? And then he was explaining to me, apparently, Interpol was surveillancing me for in all the countries that I was going through, you know? And I said to him, I go, all right, if Interpol was surveillancing me, then that's a good thing. Because every country I went to and everywhere that I visited, it was for work. And you guys would know that because you guys are following me, you know? Anyway, the Fijian guy said what he said, and this is what I'm talking about now. The brother Nach, he got life in prison at Tonga. I'm not going to get too much into his case, but he's someone that I consider family. He's Tongan and I'm Samoan, but he is someone that I consider family. How me and Nach met is when we were in Robinvale together. I was having a fight, all right, and my fight was with two Kuri boys. I was having a one-on-one first, and I was full crying, and I was fighting one guy, then I was fighting the other guy. But I was only a kid. I was in year 6, so I had tears running down my face, and I was fighting hard out, and I was full crying at the same time. And then Nach's missus at the time, who was Samoan, she told him go and save that Samoan kid. So Nach is a couple of years older than me. He come running over, he stopped me, and he pushed the two Kuri boys aside. And the two Kuri boys went away, and then I walked with Nach. And then Nach turned to me and goes, bro, you're a little soldier, huh? Now, that's the story. That's how I met Nach, you know. He called me a little soldier when I was a little kid crying and trying to punch on the two Kuri boys. Anyway, from that day forth, we were best mates. We did everything together. All the way until I left Robinvale and went to Swan Hill, and from Swan Hill back to Sydney. And then, lo and behold, Nach becomes a gangster in Melbourne and I become a gangster in Sydney. And now the poor brother's got life in prison in Tonga. Now, the reason why I brought up Nach's name is because he met someone inside prison, which is the same thing that's going to happen to your kids when they go to prison. They're going to meet people inside prison that they want to meet outside. All right. And this is where it gets to that point of, are they going to be doing crime that was worse than the crime that they did before they went in? Yes, they are. If they're going to be meeting up with people that they met inside prison, then they're going to be doing crime that was 10 times worse than what they went in for the first time. All right. Now, Nach met this Tongan brother inside prison, and then he got out. They built a relationship, and the other Tongan was from one area, and obviously Nach was from Melbourne. They both put their networks together, and they were doing things together. Yeah. And then something happened, and they lost a lot of money, and Nach ended up going to prison. All right. Now, the point of this story is One day, Nach's door got kicked in. Boom, yeah? Guys run in with masks on. They were like, where's the safe? Open up the safe, open the safe. Obviously, Nach is a criminal, so he's got money hidden in his house. He's also got a safe, yeah? And these people that ran in started yelling and screaming, get on the ground, get on the ground. Where's the money, where's the money? Who's in the house? Nach's wife and Nach's kids, yeah? When Nach was explaining this story to me, he goes that his wife looked up and the first thing she said was a name. And the name that she said was the name of the guy that Nach met in prison. So when this guy started screaming and carrying on, the wife realized who he was and said his name. So she knew it was him, even though he was bellied up, yeah? And this is what I'm saying to you guys out there. The ones that are closest to you that will F you over, the ones that will ruin the relationship that you have with your family, you know, and the ones that will ruin the relationship that you have with each other, yeah? Nach did everything for this Tongan bloke. Nach considered these Tongan guy brothers. When I reached out to Nach that I needed help because my grandmother had passed away, Nach was on parole and he was in Melbourne, yeah? This is what you call a real brother. Nach was in Melbourne on parole, so he's not allowed to leave the state. Guess what he did? He jumped in a car, he drove all the way to Sydney, even though he wasn't allowed to, and he gave my parents a large amount of cash to help out with the funerals. But guess who he was with when he came to see my parents? He was with that other Tongan guy that he called brother, that other Tongan guy that he considered family. But as soon as Nach went inside prison, the first thing that Tongan guy did was run in on his family and ask for where the safe was. Because remember, who the hell knows what's inside Nach's house? No one except his wife, his kids, and whoever he brought over. And who did he bring over? That guy that his wife was yelling at. She was full yelling out his name. And he knew right there and then that he had been caught, you know, because she was like, how can you do this after everything Nach has done for you? You know, he kept his mouth shut. He robbed Nach for the safe and money that Nach had. And then Nach couldn't do nothing about it, because guess what? He was inside prison. I was inside prison. My brother was inside prison. You know, so he couldn't do nothing about it. But it's just a story that I thought I'd tell you guys, because number one, it's a true story, and number two, it's a story that you guys can learn from. You know, Nach took this guy under his wing, met him inside prison, called him brother, called him family, and this bloke was the one who turned on him as soon as he got locked up, ran in on his family. Can you believe that? Ran in on his friggin' family. Now, I have to bring this up before we finish off. Yeah. As I always say to you guys, awareness is safety. It's something that I highlight every week. Yeah. So I want to make you guys aware of a few things. Yeah. This is the way I live my life. It doesn't matter that I'm on the path of change. For some dumb reason, I still have this embedded in me, no matter what. Even though I've left the gang life behind and I'm on the path of change, I still feel like I have to bring this up because it's the way that I still live. Yeah. All right. If you feel unsafe when you're going to meet up with someone, I know a lot of legitimate people out there, they mix with gang-related people or with people who do crime, yeah? If you're going to meet up with them, yeah? Or let's just say it's got nothing to do with crime or gang-related stuff. Let's just say you're in fear of your safety because you're going somewhere dark, all right, in a car. Now, this is the way I am. If I'm going into an alleyway, Nastia, if I'm going into an alleyway with my car, or if I'm going into a cul-de-sac, if you guys don't know what a cul-de-sac is, it's a street that's blocked off, like a dead-end street, yeah? As soon as I pull over, just say there's a car parked here, yeah? I will not come up and park here. I will always park 2 meters away, and then I'll have a look behind me. Is there a car behind me? Is there, how far is the next car? So let's say a car's here, yeah? I will always leave a space of about 1 or 2 meters in front of me. And when I'm sitting there, I'll always leave my car on drive. If there's no space in front of me for me to jumpstart my drive, then I'll leave my car on reverse. Now, this is something that my mom noticed and my wife noticed. Every time I was driving and I would get somewhere, I would always have my car about 1 meter or 2 meters away from another car, and then they were like, why you always put your car on drive? And like, why don't you just put it on park? And I would never say anything. So this is the first time that my wife is going to hear me saying this, yeah? And if my mom's watching, this will be the first time my mom would hear it. Now, the reason why I always put my car on drive is because I'm always ready to go. Even though I'm on the path of change, like my foot is always ready to go, all right? So if you feel like you're in fear because of the area that you're in, leave your car on drive. Make sure it's 1 meter or 2 away from the car in front of you. So if you see something that's coming towards you, you just put your foot down and woof, you take off, all right? But if the car's in front of you and you have to like park up next to it, just leave your car in reverse. So if someone's coming towards you, bang, you can just reverse straight back, all right? This is just some of the advice that I'm giving you guys if you are in fear, when you are driving into areas that you're unfamiliar with, yeah? This is the type of things that I do myself, not because I'm scared, but because I'm always on edge due to the lifestyle that I lived once upon a time. All right, that's the first one. Now, the second one is if you're walking, yeah? If you're in fear of your life when you're walking, just remember, make a fake phone call. When you're walking, pretend like you're talking to someone, all right? People are always scared to confront you if you're pretending to talk to someone. Better yet, be talking to someone and make sure that person knows where you are, all right? Something that I do that I'm going to explain to you guys, because a lot of people have PTSD and anxiety when they're walking alone. I see a lot of women that do laps around the beach, or they walk late at night. I even see a lot of men that do it, yeah? But I realize when I start getting close to them, they'll quickly try to cross the road, or they'll put their head down because they don't want to see me, yeah? And this is why I'm bringing this up. If you are in fear for some reason, just make sure that you're always ready. With myself, if I always have a jumper or a jacket in my hand. If I feel like something may occur, or if I feel like a bit on edge, I always have something in my hand. So when I'm walking inside prison, I always had my shirt in my hand. I'll explain to you guys why. If I'm walking around and someone confronts me with a knife or a sheath, and I've got my jumper or jacket in my hand, the first thing I would do is I would fake, and then I would throw my jumper at their face. All right. When you throw your jumper or your jacket or whatever you got at their face, it gives you a chance to run away. All right. Remember, if someone's got a knife in their hand, don't try to fight them. Yes, I have tried to fight them. And I came out second best when I got stabbed in the hand. But this is just something that I'm explaining to you guys, just in case you feel like, the anxiety and PTSD coming up, if you're in fear, have a jumper or something in your hand. There's something that I always have in my hand when I walk around now, and it's my mobile phone. So my family members realized when they were walking with me in the streets, I would be holding my phone like this. A lot of people walk around and they'll be holding my phone like this because it's their mobile phone, they use it, yeah? And then they were like, Uzo, why you keep holding your phone like this when you're walking? The reason why I hold my phone like this is, my thing is, if someone ever comes up to me with a knife, or if someone ever comes up to me with a gun, you better make sure you pull that trigger quick, or you better make sure you do something with that knife quick. Because I'm telling you now, if you're not quick, I'm going to make sure I peg my phone at your face, and then I'm going to run. It's just food for thought, guys, If you're ever feeling like you're in fear of your safety, use your phone as a weapon to protect yourself. If you think you're quick enough, I'm telling you right now, someone will pull a gun at you. Just peg the phone at their face. All right. As soon as you peg the phone at their face, you got two moves. You either go with it, run at them and throw a punch, or you just run off and try to get to safety. Hey, someone wrote in the chat, boomerang. It's not a boomerang because your mobile phone's not going to come back, but at least you've got that time to run away. You know what I mean? I used to always tell my boys inside prison when I would teach them about fighting, I would say to them, if you're getting jumped, don't try to be a hero. You know, I would always say to them, do what you need to do, then run. All right. Don't try to stand there and fight friggin' 5-10 guys, because you're not going to win. You're going to come out second best. Throw your punches, do what you need to do, and then run. Bro, don't worry, bro. Just leg it. All right. I thought it's something that I wanted to share with you guys. And from now on in, every week I come live, I'm going to be giving you some lessons on things that I do when I'm going about my day. You know, yes, I have got boys that are with me on a daily basis. When I'm working, obviously I've got colleagues that are looking out for me. But there's something that's been very, very, very strange. Something that I really want to highlight tonight. And this is something that, that came out of the ordinary. I didn't really understand it when it started happening, but it's something that I really appreciate. All right. It seems to me that a lot of people out there, they feel like they have an obligation to keep me and my wife safe, you know. It was a bit weird to me when it first happened. But as it kept happening, I thought to myself, far out. People actually have taken on board a lot of the things that I have said online, you know, because these people are now walking over to my wife and I, and they're willing to put their lives on the line for us, you know. Like I explained this morning, like there was 3 Lebanese boys who walked over to me last week, or a couple of days ago, or last week. What's today? Yeah. And I was with my wife at a restaurant, yeah. And they walked over to me and they was like, hey, bro, you TRIGGZ. So I stood up and I shook all 3 of their hands and I said, yeah. And they said, oh, bro, we noticed you're just here with your wife on your own, yeah? And I go, yeah, why? And I said, brother, we're just sitting over there. Just want you to know we got your back. I was actually shocked. These 3 Lebanese boys, not only did they walk over to say hello, but they walked over and said to me that they got my back because they realized that I was by myself with my wife. And so I thought, far out. That's freaking real love, you know. It was a shock to me. And also, the 6 African boys, remember the 6 African boys? Bro, we were kicking back, my wife and I, at the basketball. All of you saw that we went to the NBL game, yeah? And then we were outside and these African boys kept looking over at us. And then I thought to myself, bro, here we go. It's going to be an issue here. Maybe they know someone that I don't get along with. And then what's the first thing that TRIGGZ did? He put his phone in his hand. Yeah, but you know, the African boys walked over and they were just mumbling something, you know. And then my wife whispered to me, I think those guys want to come and say hello to you. And I said, who? She goes, those big African boys. So I turned and I looked at them and then they shook their head at me and I shook my head back at them. And then they walked towards me and they said, TRIGGZ. And I said, yeah. And then I ended up shaking the hands of all these 6 African boys, yeah. And after I shook their hands, they're like, bro, we watch your stuff, man. Really like your stuff. And I was like, yeah, thank you, boys. I appreciate it. And they go, brother, did you come here, just you and your wife? And I said, nah. I said, I got my friend over there. He's here with his missus as well, you know. And then the African guy that spoke to me goes, oh yeah, look, bro, if you need anything, we're just over here, bro. You know, don't hesitate to yell out. And I said to my wife afterwards, I go, bro, it's like far out. It's weird, you know. It's like everyone's so protective over my wife and I, and it's something that I really appreciate and something that I wanted to bring up. You know, thank you very much to those guys, you know, that felt the need to come over and say what they said. You know, it's greatly appreciated. And even a couple of days ago, there was a guy that was sitting in a car. He's probably watching my live now. My love and respects to you as well. I had driven up to the lights, but I was in the middle of the road, so I was in the wrong. So I quickly maneuvered my car so I could be next to the truck. And when I was sitting next to the truck, I turned my head and I saw this young Aussie guy. I'm pretty sure he was Aussie. And he looked at me and he goes like this. And then I smiled at him and I go, oh, far out. I made a mistake. And I was going like this. I made a mistake. That's why I drove here. And he just like smiled at me and I put my head down. And when I put my head down, my mobile phone was there and I was just looking at the messages, but I had both my hands on the wheel and I was looking at the messages. And then I heard, TRIGGZ. And I turned my head like that. And the guy that was in the car that was, that I just finished having a laugh with, he was yelling out my name, TRIGGZ. And I looked and I go, yo. And he goes, brother, there's a police patrol behind you. Be careful. Don't look at your mobile phone. And I was like, what the hell? This guy's sitting in his car. I thought he was just a random person sitting in a car, but he knew me, who I was. That's why he smiled at me. And then he saw that I was looking at my mobile phone. So he quickly yelled out to me, bro, don't look at your mobile phone. Because he knows that I've been locked up for 7 years. So I don't know the rules, you know. And he gave me a heads up, bro, like, be careful. Police patrol are behind you, you know. You can't look at your phone. I was like, oh, shit. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it, you know. So, yeah, to everyone out there that's always looking out for my wife and I, just know that it is greatly appreciated. Sending you guys all my big love and respects. I'm going to end this live with these few words, yeah? If I end up getting arrested by the end of this month, I just want everyone to know that I've been set up, all right? I've been told that apparently I'm gonna be getting arrested for kidnapping, extortion, and a lot of other things that is obviously a lot of lies, yeah. And I was actually shocked when this came to my attention, because I was like, hang on a sec, I'm with the same people every day, my wife or my colleagues or my family. And I said, what the hell are they talking about? How can I be involved in anything like that? And then I realized, hang on a sec, they said the word kidnapping. 110% these guys are now trying to turn around and say that, you know, the guy that I was that I was involved in saving, the brother George, now they're trying to swindle a move and trying to say that maybe I was involved in it. But then I thought about it and I was like, nah, it can't be that. They know full well that I wasn't involved in it. Why? My evidence stands, and it's always stood the same way. I didn't know about the kidnapping until an hour and a half or 2 hours after it had already happened. So the family had called the police, but George's older brother called me about an hour and a half or 2 hours later because his brother hadn't been found from the police. That's the only time I knew about it, was like an hour and a half or 2 hours after it happened, you know. So there's no way I could have been involved in it. But I realized when I heard this rumor, the only reason why they would come after me is because, you know, when we saved the brother George, obviously there was a way that it happened. You know, there was specific instructions that was given to me from the kidnappers, and I had to obviously follow exactly what they said. And I explained thoroughly that I never met up with anyone. I was given a phone, I was given a place to find a phone, and when I got that phone, that's how I liaised with them, via an encrypted mobile phone. Now, when the police contacted me and spoke to me, they wanted to know, what area did I go and pick up this mobile phone from? Obviously, if I told them the area, then they're going to be able to trace it back and they'll be able to find out who the kidnappers are. Now, I refused to give this information. And I said to them, the reason why I'm refusing to give you guys this information is because now my family is going to be at jeopardy. What happens if my wife gets kidnapped? What happens if someone in my family gets hurt? All because you want this information so you can make this arrest, so you can friggin' get a little stripe on your shoulder or get a little pay rise. You're not thinking about my safety, my wife's safety, or my family's safety. You just want this information so you can get a friggin' little promotion. All right? Can't you be happy that the brother George has been saved? Can't you be happy that, these evil people have not come back, to target the family again, And I realized that they're very, very angry at the fact that they weren't the ones who discovered where the brother was at, you know, and I don't understand why they would be so angry. You know, like they did their best, and at the end of the day, my guys and I weren't going out of our way to put them on show. We weren't trying to swindle a move in order to make them look stupid. No, we were just trying to get our brother back. Yeah, that's it. We weren't trying to put the police on show. But yet they have this this freaking thought process on like F this, you know? Who the F are these criminals to do our job? They're not freaking police. How the hell they can they swindle a move like that, you know? You know, like I said to you guys, there is a police officer that knows every single person, that every single cop that was involved in these cases, yeah? And this police officer is close to someone that I know, yeah? And this person told me that this police officer said that these guys are not going to give up. They are not going to give up until they find the kidnappers. Why? Because they are dirty at the fact that VAIUSU and all his mates were the ones that found them first. I was like, bro, what are they upset at? Friggin' who cares who did the job? If it was you guys who would save them, you know, cool. We'll be friggin' praising you guys, and 100% we'll be happy we got the brother back. You know, because it's us, all of a sudden everyone's upset at us, and now all of a sudden you're trying to swindle moves to lock me back up. So this is how I'm gonna end my life. If I end up getting arrested in the next couple of weeks and I go inside the prison, it's because I've been set up. You know, if I don't end up seeing my son being born, it's because the police set me up. And like I told you guys, everything that I released last week on my video showing how corrupt the police were when they turned up and outed my content house address with the hope that that something would happen to me or something would happen to the people that come here. I outed this because I wanted that police officer kicked off the force. I wasn't trying to put the police on show. You know, I wasn't trying to show how much of a tough guy I was when I was going off at them. No, this is what I do inside prison. I always go off like that when I'm in the right. And that day I was in the right. That's why I went off. All right. But when it comes to that police officer, I made this video specifically to get him kicked off the force, because I don't want a person like that representing us. I don't want a person like that representing our communities. You know, someone like that needs to get kicked out of the police force, and the police really need to clean up their act. And that's the reason why I called out the police commissioner's name, because he's the only one that can oversee these types of things. He needs to understand that, and he's the one that needs to make these decisions. Abusing their uniform. 100% police are always, there's police officers out there who are always abusing their uniform. But if you guys have watched my video, you guys would see clearly that not once have I ever belittled the police. I only made that video to highlight what that police officer did. So to end my life, guys, again, I'm gonna say it. If I end up getting arrested in the next couple of weeks, you know why. I got set up. Simple as that. Yeah, look, God willing, it doesn't happen. I have been doing the right thing, and I can honestly say these rumors or these accusations are not true whatsoever. I haven't been involved in any of these crime stuff that's been chopped around. Yeah, the Team TRIGGZ. I'm gonna wait for my wife to come back before I say goodbye. But yeah, my love and respects to each and every one of you out there that's been watching on. Also to everyone out there over on Team Sweetness, my love and respects to each and every one of you. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, 100% my lawyers got my back. But at the end of the day, you know, they got the power, they got the uniform. I'm only one man, and I made that video with the hope that everybody would jump on board and help me to clean up the police's wrongs, you know, because we need police on these streets, but we need the clean cut police, you know, not the ones that are swindling moves. Anyway, my wife and I, we're going to sign off now. This is us. But before we sign off, it is what it is with TRIGGZ. And my beautiful wife, Sweetness. I love yous back. Oh, my man. I love yous and I appreciate yous. Tootsie. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us tonight. And may you guys have a blessed night and have a good night's sleep. Take care, everyone. Have a good night's sleep. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you, everyone that was tapping up the likes and sending through gifts and sending through the harmonies. Love yous. Stay blessed.